name is Slava. We have Alexander today from Envelop. We will talk about this project today and about cooperation Envelop protocol and PureFi protocol. Probably we're gonna wait a bit while the rest of the people join us. Meanwhile, okay, you hear us well. Okay. Alex, please tell us about yourself a bit before we come up to the project.
Okay, I came to IT from kind of government sector. I used to be a customer worker for 7 years. Afterwards, I started my own startup in 2016 about wearable devices and development of mobile apps. It was smartwatches for tracking kids, having calls and messages and so on. Afterwards, in 2017, I came to with the ideas of blockchain and cryptocurrencies and see good collaborations of my previous experience and my app. We were creating a product for logistics. It was an IoT device to track containers, to write it on blockchain. Then came crypto winter. I dive deeply into investments, trading, and learn new things in this space. And with my friends and colleagues in 2020, we came to the idea of creating an NFT project. And after hard working, deciding different hypotheses, ideas, we came to Envelop, its architecture, and what we are building now, what we have built now, and we have much more things to accomplish in future years.
Why NFT? What is so special about NFT? Do you have any connection with artists, or you're just about the technology?
Mainly it's about the technology and especially the economical aspect, because every in our team has survived through bear market in 2018, 2019. And the main purpose is about hedging the positions, the price of assets. And we saw the first big dump of NFTs in price during the spring, when after it skyrocketed, and then it went practically to zero. Some assets really cost zero after the dump. So we are to create a tool, a set of tools that will help users to hedge their positions, to creators make it more desirable for secondary markets and for traders and for collectors to have some hedge and kind of insurance, we can name it.
When you say hedge positions, do you mean kind of NFT positions or what?
Yeah, I mean NFT itself. So when we named it collateral, maybe it's not the exact wording for this, but it's a kind of entity which we forms inside NFT when we wrap it, and we give it a zero price. It can be supposed to be a hedge, and we can make an economic setup for this asset that on every transaction, this floor price will increase. So our protocol will take a part of sell price and put it inside. So when you own such an NFT, in any case, you got this floor price inside it. So it can be any tokens, stable coins. In future, this will have to be to put inside other NFTs, P positions.
But again, when you say hedging position, do you mean hedging position of classical crypto assets like ERC20 tokens, or hedging position on NFT marketplaces?
I mean a hedging position, same position. I mean your NFT, you own this NFT. You can own simple NFT. It's a picture. It's maybe some game item. But it costs a price which is dictated by the market, by rarity, by the creator. But it's the only thing that it depends on. But when the market dumps, what we've seen not recently, this price goes dramatically down. But when inside it there is a kind of price of assets which are locked inside, they form this floor price. To say simpler, for example, we can set up that inside there will be some stable coins, USDT DAI, and on every transaction, our protocol will take from sell price 100 DAI and put it inside collateral. And for example, when you through transactions collected inside 1000 USDT, anyway, your NFT won't go below this 1000 USDT, even if whole market dumps and NFC itself of this collection. For example, if you have an NFT from one collection, one wrapped, one unwrapped, simple NFT goes to zero. Wrapped NFT cost at least this 1000 USDT, which is inside, which is locked inside this NFT.
What do you see in general? What do you think in general about NFT as a business domain? Do you think it's gonna grow, or it was just a hype and it's gonna like crash down?
I think that it's evaluating through the time. So firstly, we saw it the first hype on CryptoKitties, then there was silence for about 2 years. Then we saw new hype during end of 2020 and beginning of 2021 with crypto art and just simple 8 pixels pictures like chubbies, mooncats, and so on, which also dumped I mean, these assets are kind of just 100% hype assets, which has some outfits, some JPEG or pixels, and has nothing behind it. Then we now see another hype of GameFi, which are assets that can be used in games to earn incomes and pay to earn games. So it's evaluating, and probably the next step of evolution will be kind of secured NFTs or with some collaterals inside which we form. And now we see it kind of utility in game items, art, but we see that the main use case for NFTs is economics of transfer of liquidity. Economics.
Okay.
So transfer of liquidity, tokenizing of payment channels, and there are many use cases, even to the secure derivatives we can form with it.
Like a form of securitization, right?
Kind of that, yeah, truly.
Okay. Okay. For those who just joined our session, my name is Slava. I'm CEO of PureFi. We have Alex here. He is the CEO of Envelop. And PureFi protocol and Envelop protocol are going to work together. From our side, we are going to launch NFT loyalty program where we give away NFTs for some specific tasks that performed by our community, and it will not be the simple NFT with the picture or maybe some text inside, but we also wanna wrap assets from our partners. And with this wrapping technology, Envelop gonna help us. So we're gonna use Envelop protocol for our collateralized NFT, for our NFT loyalty program. In their turn, Envelop gonna use PureFi protocol in order to protect their protocol from dirty assets and the users of an Envelop protocol, which was Nifty's, right?
Yeah, yeah. At first steps we named it Nifty, but it was a kind of fast decision. So we put a search market more detailed. We knew that there are Nifty Gateway and some sound like project, but then they appear
Oh,
NFT-Fi, NFT-X, NFT that, NFT this, and so on.
okay.
So when we asked for in my Google, we tried to type in Nifty, perfect, maybe Nifty, Nifty gateway, and then our site was only on the fifth page, so we decided that it won't work out in long term, so better to change it. So, but we left token name Nifty as it was
Oh, okay.
released. Smart
Okay.
contract. We got Envelop DAO and Nifty token as a reminder.
Envelop sounds very good for this protocol. As far as I understood, the nature of the protocol, and we're gonna talk about it a bit later. So to finalize, Envelop protocol gonna use PureFi to check source of funds and source of assets, which is using as a collateral for rapid NFT. And rapid NFT, did you come up with this idea, or it's already on the market? Rapid NFT.
So as we decide in our product to build not only a protocol, but also there will be Oracle part, index part. So Oracle will serve to kind of anti-fraud and scoring system for assets. And here the solutions of PureFi is very important and can be easily integrated. So it will give additional value to us, and we'll spend our own time for development of this. And of course, for the protocol, why we develop Oracle, it also can be used apart until we create the Oracle. And in index part, where we also can form indexes from the market, NFT market, these PureFi decisions also can be very useful, especially when we go to kind of a B2B or corporate market where the source of funds and its clarity is a very important thing.
Yeah, and just to summarize, those two protocols, I mean, PureFi and Envelop protocol, will be integrated and will be using each other services. And correct me if I'm wrong, you are going to launch IDO sale, right?
Yeah, we are preparing it. The IDO will be launched on 21st October. There is only 2 weeks left.
Only
So
I can
yeah,
imagine your schedule right now.
yeah, a lot of stuff to do. A lot of done, but a lot to do left. So, and as I have colleagues who also passed through IDO, we now think that IDO is the hardest thing, but they disappointed us saying that IDO it's only the beginning. The main interesting things happen afterwards. So it will become easier after IDO or even harder.
Yeah, so guys, please stay tuned. Try to get some allocations from Envelop. And as I said, we're going to launch an NFT loyalty program. And this NFT loyalty program, we're going to give away NFTs. And as a collateral, there will be UFI tokens from our partners, and hopefully Envelop tokens as well, if you already have Envelop tokens on Binance Smart Chain. So it's a good opportunity to get small but allocation from Envelop. And let's move to the section of Twitter questions. There are a lot of questions about PureFi, but let's start. Let's talk more about Envelop, since we had a lot of AMA sessions about PureFi. It's better to talk about our partner. And the first question: what is the best thing about this project? I mean, Envelop project.
The best thing.
On your opinion, the best thing, yes.
If we say, for example, I'll focus mainly. If you say about architecture, I think that architecture is maybe the best thing here. So we are a composable product. It's, as I said, protocol, Oracle, and Index, 3 different micro DAOs that compose big DAO envelope and all connected by Nifty token. Also, if we focus on utility now for the market, which we study through cases with our partners. If we focus on art, it's I think royalties for creators, because due to our protocol, we can program inside wrapped NFT that royalties can be paid on every transaction made. It can be made on chain, and creators can be independent from any marketplace. So even if their art leaves, for example, foundation and is traded somewhere else, they will still receive these royalties, which they programmed there, or even if it's just transferred from wallet to wallet. And if we focus on GameFi, which is now really popular, we are developing the concept of rental of NFTs. So it's there are rental services now on the market, but they oblige users to pay pledge. For example, you sometimes now have to pledge 10k USDT to rent some race car and play it for 2 days and paying for that 100 USDT, but the pledge is real big, and sometimes if you forget to give it back, you leave you are without your pledge, and maybe the person who gave it for rent didn't want to sell it. And we are developing the concept where we can use it invent a non-pledge rental via wrapping these NFTs, putting locks on it, and automate all the process by our smart contracts and a kind of guardian contract which see if all conditions are met and returns back after the time elapses to the initial owner or the contract of marketplace to give it once more time for rent. I think it will be a big thing inside games.
Yeah, it's important to say that guys not just launching IDO, they already have a product, maybe not finished it fully, but the whole protocol, as far as I seen it, is already implemented, and you just develop the rest of the features, right?
Yeah, right. So we are now finishing up integration in marketplace. It will be announced next week. Also, we got 2 games in process of integrations. They even built their ecosystem of their games on basis of our protocol. And as for rental, we got also a partner who creates a marketplace for rental. They create metaverse with their heroes inside, and also as a part of their product, they form a rental platform. And when we offered our solution, they are really excited about it, because the problems are really big with these pledges and control of return.
Okay, the next question. PureFi, will Envelop be your clients or you are there? As I said, we gonna use Envelop, their protocol, to wrap our NFT for giveaways, and Envelop gonna use PureFi protocol as a part of their Oracle, which I believe we will talk a bit later about this Oracle, for detection dirty money and protect honest market players from dishonest. The next question, it seems an interesting question even for me. How did you come up with this project, with the whole idea?
With the whole idea, so as I mentioned at the beginning, it was a long process. When we decided what we are going to do, we understood that we have to make the NFT project, because there are a lot of problems on marketplaces. The first idea was to create marketplace, but I'm happy that we declined this idea, because
Yes.
it's no way to win on the market now. So it's plenty of marketplaces. Then we wanted to do kind of a aggregator where you can see all your assets, act with it. So, but also we found some strong players and see into kind of one of obvious ideas. And then we tried to focus on problems of the market, and we saw 3 main problems, especially the devaluation of NFTs, and it's very strongly connected with first evaluation, because when we have no trade history, no understanding how to estimate assets, how to understand it, so we came to the idea of the collapse of small price. And also after that, we had the customer development with traders. We offered them our concept and tried to hear what they think about it. And on their view, we talked with about 50 traders, and they said that for them, as for trader, it will be much easier to come into deal when they see not just a picture of famous artist, but they see here is the asset. It has a kind of floor price inside of any amount. It has an economic setup to grow on every transaction. The royalties are paid, and that this asset is easily to understand why he should buy it. Maybe he just don't want to dive deeply in it, so searching for about this painter. He sees that there's some money inside, it will grow, and he'll buy it for a next and sells it for Y, and then gets other funds. Then we dived deeply into this concept as we understood that this collateral is a good idea. And for next step, it also solves this liquidity because these NFTs with such economic setup, as traders, one traders them like them to buy, others are more likely to sell it. And then we increase turnover of these NFTs. Thus, we increase its liquidity. Also, the more liquidity it forms, the more fees get the platforms where they are sold. So also it's our vision on how to increase the liquidity. And third point of view was that the creators also the main in spring and winter, the creators were the main game actors. So for them also was the problem, as we also had good connections with artists in Russia. Also, we now participating in the NFT week in Russian Museum during yesterday and today. And also they confirmed that the point of royalties is very important for them. We also asked them to range it from 1 to 10, and practically every range that from 8 to 10, that the problem of royalties is really important for them, and especially when we can offer full automation from it. So they create, they make economic setup royalties, then sell it to market and just forget and get royalties paid. For example, if they lock it for 10 years, so 10 years they are guaranteed for royalties. So this was
okay. Thanks. Moving to the next question. What was your biggest accomplishment this month? I'll start with the PureFi, and I would rather talk about previous months because this month is only 7 days behind. So we had the last unlock from IDO participants, which was a big amount of tokens on the market, and our price still doing well, which is good accomplished. We signed a farming program with different companies. Right now we have farming with UltraSafe, which is protocol, and they're gonna launch their own IDO platform, Launchpad. And tomorrow, hopefully, we're gonna kick off another farming farming on our dashboard. So stay tuned. And probably we're gonna do the same with Envelop. I don't know when, maybe a bit later. I mean farming program. So we have our own farming smart contracts, and we can onboard projects which is willing to get ML assessment from PureFi. And based on this, we do farming program together. And our business development team subscribed long list of first adopters of our protocol, and hopefully we're gonna launch our pre MVP next week, and the people can test it, and then we can add one by one projects from this long list from our biz dev team. And please go ahead with your biggest achievements this month or maybe previous months.
For this month, I will count about 4 weeks. So first achievement for us was closing up our private investment rounds. So
Yeah, this
on
is
the
good.
yeah, so on the public left, and also during this month we also participated into a game summits. Also we described our ideas about rental and had good feedback on game market. It was very important for us to get such information as even we also connected with some guys of classical game market connected with us. So they are only searching inside NFTs and trying to find best things. Also, they are interested in kind of rental possibilities of our protocol because and this wasn't the only company. We now see that the trend for classical game studios are looking on NFTs, and I suppose that there will be much more competence on this market and much more actors and the public in nearest future. So we can provide them good service solution to enrich their mechanics. And for other, we also grew very good with our community. Also, there was a luck that we opened our whitelist, and one day it was climbing a bit higher, about 300 participants. But one day, when we had a kind of a number, it's skyrocketed to 10K desirable people who decide to participate in pre-IDO. So there's whitelisting is open at the current moment, so anyone can participate and get pre-IDO tokens with a big discount. But also there will be locks on them. But it's a good chance to have some tokens because on IDO there will be a big allocation, about 150K on all platforms. So these are the main. And of course, I forgot about the main things. So we launched on, but it was a bit more than 1 month. It was beginning of September. We launched mainnets of Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon Chain. Also, we are testing now Avalanche. Also found a team to grew new teammates to build on Zilliqa, Solana, and other chains. So we are really going to be cross-chain now. We make it parallel, but as soon as the completion on each one, we'll start testing our cross-chain mechanics. And I think here are main solutions. And also, it was a good when Vitalik Buterin posted in Twitter about the concept of tokenizing a kind of rapid liquidity inside NFTs, and it was very close to our ideas we are developing about tokenizing of payment channels and cross-chain liquidity transfer and liquidity transfer. So it was for us the best confirmation of our ideas about long-term vision to use NFTs for economics and to transfer liquidity and tokenize payment channels.
Okay, thank you. There are too many questions left, and we are almost an hour here. But let's try to address at least some of them. The next question. Envelop, can you tell about how NFT creators can use protocol? I suppose it's a question about just regular users.
So for the creator, he can create his NFT and give it new setup, economic setup to be more desirable by secondary market. For example, you can put inside starting value. It can be tokens from the market. It can be in future we'll add soon ability to put inside other NFTs. For example, in your new artwork, you can put inside some your previous artwork. So anyway, how you decide to make a collection, then you can set up time lock to not to let people unwrap it, or value lock, for example. You can emit your own tokens of your project. If you not the only creator, but a kind of a community of creators who can emit your tokens, and all collateral fulfillment and royalty payments to the will be executed in your native tokens and increase the utility. And if just to make it simple, you can use it to be paid of royalties. And
Okay, yeah, royalties is a good thing for any creator. And moving to the basis of our cooperation, I mean, between PureFi and Envelop, the next question is it important for Envelop or for any NFT protocol to follow regulatory rules? And why? I mean, whatever answer is.
Of course, it's important because we are living in nearby regulators in every country. So that's why in our team, there is one of our teammates is very skillful in these questions, and we all working on building our DAO in kind of current practice of regulators about dealing with DAOs, saying that one company is down, another not. So we focus on current practice and make all steps needed not to be under the ban of regulators. And of course, it includes our formation of NFTs. But as for NFTs, there is not many practice, but we try to look a bit forward and to prevent any harmful activities for us. But it needs time to pass, but we try to be up to date with their views.
Yeah, and we already mentioned it, but let's elaborate about your Oracle. It's very interesting feature, and the PureFi protocol gonna be a part of this Oracle. And please tell us more about Oracle and why do you need it and what is this?
So we are forming now the scoring model for this protocol. So it will be used to estimate assets, for example, simple NFTs, especially wrapped NFTs with assets inside. It will be give a kind of scoring to a person who wants to buy or sell it, not to spend lots of time searching deeply in it. What is it? This NFT itself, what are assets inside? For example, imagine that there are tens of assets inside, different tokens of different products. So for a person, it's a good thing. And if we say about regulatory, maybe for some exchanges, for some funds, also this is a good tool because they need to be very strict with these legal issues. So we are forming this our scoring model on ZK mechanics. So not to prevent any malware activities for some people who will know about it. But after we reach a big user base, we plan that when we surpass 1 million users, then we can make this our scoring model open. But till that, it will be closed and just give scorings for these tools and give analytics. And we plan to use it a kind of free model because we give just the data when you analyze it by yourself. But and on a payment, there will be offered a kind of information and scoring saying about this assets, kind of analyzed info.
So this Oracle acts only as the analytics, not as a filter for the wrapped collateral.
It's current. We are developing it. We will just release the first alpha of Oracle closer to December. But now because we got working on a hypothesis for this. It's under the process of formation, and according to our roadmap, it will be released only in December in alpha. So I won't say some because we can change these solutions, and afterwards it can be not a good thing when we now say that we use made some choices and then we changed it, but it's kind of inside info at the moment, especially because, as I said, it will be used as the key mechanics inside.
Okay, thanks for your answer. And as far as I understood, your target market is B2B. Can you share some examples? Who are those companies?
These companies are, I will name it by the sectors because we can have a plan to release press releases about it. For example, this, if we say about use case, it can be marketplace who offers
Okay.
to their users our app and mechanics to make, for example, for the creator to make his works more desirable for collectors and traders. For the marketplace, the benefit is that such way they increase the velocity of trading and their fees. If we say about games, inside games, we can form new mechanics based on collateral. For example, the power of weapon will depend on the amount of collateral inside. If we say about a hero in the game, he have different characteristics, strength, power, stealth, armor, and so on. So each token can stand for each characteristic. This is the way. Or it can make a kind of a race where we bet the collaterals inside race cars, and the winner gets the collaterals of the losers, and so on. As for example, like for your project, like PureFi, we and wallets, we can give mechanics about wrapping assets inside the NFTs, about making drops. Also, we got good cases with organizers of events who we are now working with from 3 to 4 projects who desire to drop to the visitors NFTs with tokens of exhibitors and some partners of these events. So here are the main use cases, and about the exhibitions, it's interesting that these use cases have been asked for us to create in short time from different parts of the world. So I think it's kind of obvious, and even we created possibly a solution to wrap about 1,000 NFTs and automatically, not one by one, but it also will give a good economy of time for this.
Yeah, and I know we already discussed it with you when we discussed our collaboration, but there is the same question from the community about minting. Are you going to have some minting tool? And if yes, for which blockchains?
So we don't plan to create it by ourselves. We suppose to use partner meeting platforms to make the whole process, to make a whole streamline. So when you get some data or some pictures and want to create from scratch a wrapped NFT with new economic setup, royalty setup, and so on, then we'll work with our partners who will to make the process from A to B. So when you download the data, make all settings set up, then press one button and get on the outcome the NFC with the OS. All these settings made up. As for blockchains, firstly, of course, it will be Ethereum, then Binance Smart Chain, and Polygon. I think the 3 will be first.
Okay, and there is another question, which I believe we already answered. Is the Envelop protocol already live? Yes, guys, it's already live, and we one of the first users of this protocol, but it live without user interface, and it's there should be some specialist in your team just to use protocol, and probably you will tell us when it's going to be live with the UI And
UI will be ready, I think that during 1 or 2 weeks maximum. So before IDO, anyway, we'll launch it and show it to the public. Also, if anybody wants, it can use our interface, which used to be in a Rinkeby testnet of Ethereum. So we made a big update inside it. So inside testnet, there was only our NFT token that could be used inside protocol, but in current state, we separated our token from the protocol and we give a choice to our partners or just users which token will be used inside protocol to be put inside collateral to be paid as a royalty. So it gives much more flexibility and much more value for our partners who can increase the utility of their tokens in use cases.
Yeah, and there is the question to PureFi when to run an MVP. As I said, on the next week, we're gonna have pre-MVP on our dashboard. I mean, app.purify.io, where you can stake and where you can try the protocol itself. So it's gonna be the first pure farming protocol on the entire space. And probably last two questions. I read Envelop plan to make possible to do TGE on NFT. Not sure I understood the question. Explain, please, if you understand.
I think I understood. So it's a kind of a launchpad via NFT. So we also will show this mechanic. Yeah, we'll also show this mechanic on our site during IDO. We'll give an ability to buy our NFTs. Inside there will be locked our tokens, and on NFT there will be a time lock. So after, for example, half a year, or 2 years, it can be unwrapped. So the main point is for users, it's good because they can resell, for example, this NFT with assets inside, and for the product, it's good because it will not dump the market price because your C20 tokens are locked inside. And also this case is, if we go further, can be used by venture capitals when they buy, invest into the project and get their tokens. Projects can wrap these tokens inside NFTs and give it to the VCs. And when VC decide to, I know, make sometime decision to sell tokens, in current state, they have locks on these tokens, they can't make it, but using our protocol, they will be able to resell this NFT to other funds or other people, for example, individual investors. And for the project also, it will be good because they will not have a dump on the market. So this is the case. We'll show it, see the feedback, and then maybe if any other launchpads want to implement it afterwards, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you. And you already mentioned that you're gonna launch DAO. Can you please elaborate on it? Why do you need DAO? This is a question from our community as well.
So we, after IDO, we will more focus on these questions about voting on decisions made in development plan, collaborations. Also, we plan to launch a kind of staking, a new staking model where participants of DAO will also share not only incomes but the spends of the whole DAO. If we decide to finance some case or some collaboration case, the token holders can vote it for it by staking their tokens and get incomes from this. So after IDO, we'll offer more details on it. Because before we can be more freely about this, but first of all, what we made as for DAO, we can make the kind of simplest mechanics about spends. So we got 5 co-founders, and each have to vote for each financial decision. So it's the first step for us. And then we plan to grow with token holders and decision makings by them all.
Okay, thank you, Alex. If you have anything to add, to say to the community, to our listeners, please do it.
So it would be great if you join our community and help us to build our product, give your ideas, and especially maybe some concerns which you have about the market, what you think should be accomplished, especially in use cases, because we are working hard with our partners, but best it would be to hear from the final user and what are your pains and what your desires. So just join our community. We'll be very glad to you.
Thank you. And from the PureFi side, please take a note. Tomorrow, gonna launch a new farming with hopefully lucrative APY. And please follow our social media because we're gonna launch NFT loyalty program with Envelop, and there will be wrapped assets from our partners, some ERC20 tokens. And yeah, go follow up Envelop and join their social networks. Stay tuned and see you soon.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Alex.
Lala. See you. See you. Bye.